The Lunaverse, Episode 20, by Forborr. Lunaverse by Rainbow Double Dash. Chapter 8, Heart of the Desert. Well, said Lyra, trembling in the aftermath of Jackelope's cry. She barely registered Thunderax's question as she turned slowly, feeling the thrill of magic simmering around her. Girls, are the rest of you seeing this? A fountain of magic, pure, wild, full of joy, poured out from an otherwise unremarkable point in the ground, curling and growing and swirling across the desert floor. Or it should be, at least. Only a tiny fraction of the heart's power was actually free, while the rest was being pulled upward. Lyra craned her neck, trying to see where the octane fountain led. I don't see anything, Raindrop said, but I feel something. The air here, it's alive. Y'all, said Thunderax, lots of good wool for it. The air and the rest of the body is dead, grinned Raindrops. That's why I've been itching so much, on top of the heat, I mean. Hey, Lyra, asked Final Scratch, did you know you're glowing? Lyra blinked and looked down from her examination of the sky. So are you. It was true. An electric blue aura surrounded Vinyl, and an occasional multicolored sparks fizzled from her horn. Lyra supposed she probably looked the same, though her aura would be mint green. Meanwhile, Thunderax's hose were glowing like they did when she played her guitar, and Raindrops cackled with the occasional burst of electricity. What's this? Magic, Vinyl said simply. A ton of it. A natural fund, Lyra explained. Not all of the world magic comes from living things, you know. The land itself generates magic too. It does like some living things generate much more magic than others. So do some places. So, Thunderax said slowly, this is like the loud equivalent of a Draconequist. Lyra nodded. Huh, I wonder. She bathed her lyre into her hose and put a couple of notes, then hummed experimentally. Yeah, no wonder there's legends about a curse. There's some kind of really powerful fire magic caught in here, resonating up and down like an echo. Raindrop's jaw dropped. You're saying the echo of one of her attacks is enough to keep this place a desert for 1,000 years? Lyra was glad Raindrops hadn't used her name. Here, in the cloudless desert under the high sun. Why didn't you tell anybody about this place, Final? It's the geomagic fire of the century! Before Final could answer, the Jackelope moaned again, softer and sadder than its previous cry. All three of the other ponies immediately rushed over to the Jackelope, where it was bound on Raindrop's back. He doesn't look good, said Thunderax. The Jackelope whimpered in agreement. Lyra noticed, looking closely, that the sounds were coming from his vibrating horns, then to his mouth. This, they really were tremendously like a Christophone. She stretched her hoof toward the iridescent, pearly horns, and the colors seemed to swirl together to meet her. She almost imagined she could hear the faintest shift in the Jackalope's music. Well, he wanted to come to the heart, said Final Scratch. Maybe he needs to be actually in it? Worth a shot, Raindrop said, walked directly to the front of the magic. Oh, she said, that's nice. Lyra Ross's Raindrop seemed to get a little taller, as if she had been slouched the entire time Lyra knew her, and only now stood up. The Jackalope's moaning stopped, and his breathing became less labored. But after a while it became clear nothing more dramatic was going to happen. I don't think it's enough, said Thunderax. We need more. More what, though? Said Final. Why can't you tell us what you need? Raindrops demanded, stabbing her hoof in frustration. Maybe he did, said Lyra slowly. Think. Was there anything in the dreams? Anything that had happened since? They fell silent, thinking. I don't think it was anything in the dream, said Thunderax after a while. I've been thinking rolling through my head, and we've done what it asked. The only other thing that the Jackalope's done is swap us around, said Vinyl. No, not swap us, she continued, realization dawning. Her eyes twitched side to side as she put ideas together. He blended us! The Jackalope sighed again. A complex musical tone that began at their ears vibrated down through their hooves. "Of course!" said Lyra. "It's not that just each of us is a combination that makes things. It's what we can do together!" "What we can—" Thunderhead started, eyes wide. "Oh! Oh!" She drew her guitar from where she had carefully slung it across her back. "Right!" said Lyra. "Why else bring 3 musicians?" Final grinned broadly. "I think it's time I told you what I was planning on doing here." Strawberry Cheesecake struggled to keep from rolling her eyes in frustration at the gray pony mare in front of her. "I guess that fiasco with the Jackelope wasn't enough. No, one of the dollars of Discord is missing only hours after before the concert. On top of that, I had to deal with this man's complaining. I'm sorry, miss, I just don't see what the problem is." "I thought Stage 5 was going to be all rock music," the mayor said flatly, for the possible 30th time in Cheesecake's hearing alone. "Oh, yes," said Cheesecake. "We'll start today in a few minutes. I think the naysayers are opening stage. I know. I memorized the program." "But we only gave them the visitors this morning." Ah! Cheesecake, by a dint of enormous effort, did not bring a forehead to one of her aching temples. "Okay, let's try a different approach. What are you expecting from a rock music stage that isn't there?" "Rocks." Before Cheesecake could respond, a strange, crackling noise echoed through the festival's grounds. One by one, at each stage, a piece of Final's own sound equipment seemed mixed in with the festival's turned on. "You could do that?" Lyra asked incredulously. "Normally," responded Final, her horn pulsing with electric blue light. "No way, not even close. But here, yeah, no prob." She concentrated, and the aura around her horn grew bigger and brighter. Across the festival, faint blue light spread from Final's familiar, personal equipment to all the festival's sound systems, until every speaker in the valley was under a spell. "Why?" "Because they're never going to let me be a performer," said Final, "and the world needs to hear what I've discovered." She concentrated again, and a low bass tone began. "Oh no," said Lyra, "not that wobble thing again." Across the valley, from every speaker the festival had, in the heart of the desert itself, beats began, sounds as much as engineered as they were performed. An edifice of interlocking beats slowly built up, layer by layer by Vinyl. "Ow!" "Hi, that's kinda cool," said Thunderaxe. She slapped her wings a few times, and gently let the flower poe into her guitar, shrieking out the opening riff of the ballad of Jackalope Valley. "You planning on joining in?" she asked Lyra. "Right," said Lyra, summoning her lyre, strumming her own version. "What should I do?" Raindrop shouted over the swelling tide of music. Oh," Raindrop said, almost as Lyra couldn't hear her own music. "Right, I'll hold the Jackalope to make sure she's okay." Raindrop stood in the fountaining magic at the heart of the desert. 3 pointing musicians stood in a triangle around her, facing her, belting out the ballad. Final provided the bass line, as well as feeding the music into the festival sound equipment. Thunderaxe traded the melody back and forth with Lyra, whose lyre could be drowned out by the big, magically amplified sounds of the other two. But the horns of the Jackalope shimmered and sang along, folding the music together so that somehow, impossibly, it worked. But then the wise, soft tones of the Jackalope fiend began to falter. Lyra played his refusal, while the bass thrummed and thumped like the hoofbeats of doom. Celestia's wrath blared from the Thunderaxe's guitar. She cried out as a burst of lightning leapt from her guitar to the Jackalope. Light flashed. A massive white jagged column of lightning, wreathed in flames, shot from the Jackalope high into the sky. Across the dry lake bay, Dusty saw as it was, having finished treating his cousin's graves. He was once again in pursuit of the jackknappers. A moment later he felt it, just as every other pony in the valley felt it. A dry, broken land, screaming as the moisture and life it desperately needed, snatched rudely away. Up in the festival grounds, the Unicorn Soundcheck, one of the festival techs, saw it whilst he investigated the spell that let someone hijack all the sound equipment. A moment later, he felt it as every other unicorn in the valley felt it. A wave of dark magic, as if some terrible spell had been stretched out, and snapped back with all the elasticity of Tartarus itself. In the heart of the desert, Raindrops was nearly blinded by it. A moment later, she felt it, just as every Pegasus in the valley felt it. A near solid wall of heat, like slipping from a nice cool downdraft directly into a blazing hot thermal. I think that might have been the wrong song, said Lyra. You think? You think? Shouted Raindrops. Sweat ran down her flanks from the suddenly rising temperature. The desert was suddenly turning into an oven while the morning dragged on. Sorry, offered Lyra. Raindrops snorted. It was doing a thing, though, said Vinyl. Don't know what, but something. So, we need to figure out the right song, right? Asked Thunderx. But how? Raindrops sighed. I guess that's what I'm really here for. Carrying things and pointing out the obvious. Or having you girls notice how dark it's getting. She pointed upwards, and the other eyes followed. Ominous-looking dark clouds were streaming in from the east, but seemed to be piling up against some kind of invisible, curved wall surrounding the valley. As the ponies watched, the clouds broke over the top of the wall, which turned out to be a dome, throwing a shadow over the valley. Within moments, they blocked out the sun. Did we do that? Asked Lyra. Don't you get it? Raindrops jabbed a hoping final. Your instrument! I don't have an instrument, answered Vile. I work with pure sound. Which is another word for moving air, countered Raindrops. Wind? She pointed at Thunderax. Lightning, obviously. Finally, she pointed at Lyra. Little tinkling noises? Gee, what does that sound like? Little tinkling noises? Lyra stopped when she saw Raindrops' expression. Yeah, okay. I get where you're going with this. He doesn't just want us to help him. He wants us to help the valley, Vinyl said, understanding blossoming on her face. We have to play the rain! Thunderax's eyes widened in awe. Then she grinned. Even Awesome Sauce has never done something like this. Wait till I tell her! She stroked the guitar string. It sparked and sang. Thunder rolled in response. But what song? Lyra asked. You're not playing a song, Raindrops answered. You're playing the rain. Just take what rain feels like and play that feeling. Thunderaxes played a low, distant chord, a rumbling punctuated by bright flashes. Lionel listened for a moment, then joined in, amplifying the rumbling and adding motion and energy. Last of all, Lyra joined in with the delicate, failing arpeggios. Jackalope's horns glowed with rainbow light, swirling and shimmering all around Raindrops. The sky darkened steadily as black, rain-pregnant clouds blotted out the sun like wings of Luna herself. But no rain fell. After nearly a half-hour of continuous playing, the musicians broke off, panting. Nothing, said Raindrops. The air's dry as ever. It's that fire spell, said Lyra. It's just too strong. Maybe if we had the elements of harmony here. I don't know if the Jackalope would last long enough to go get your friends. Ow! Said Vinyl. He's not looking so good. Raindrops had to agree. The Jackalope felt heavier by the minute, and his breathing was growing rough and ragged again. What if we could get outside the fire spell? She asked. Those clouds are outside its reach, right? Yeah, said Lyra. But we need the magic of the heart to feel the song. We can't reach it from out there. Maybe you don't mean to, said Thunderax. Thought, your spell's still sending all music to the festival, right? Yeah, said Final. But it's still inside the valley. And anyway, I had to pry the equipment to receive the spell. That's why I used my own. Could you pry something else now? Like, say, the Jackalope's horn? Final grinned, though her tiredness was showing. I can try. She closed her eyes and grimaced. The aura around her horn, which had not gone completely away since she first linked the festival speakers, flared up again. Before we do, can we get Vital a mana potion? Lyra was sympathetically. She had seen before how keeping up multiple spells, or even one very complex spell, could be. Vital's magic capacity wasn't exactly huge to begin with. Still, she obviously had a knack for musical magic, almost the inverse of Lyra's own magical music. And after a couple of sputters, a waving column of light extended from her horn to the Jackalope's, electric blue swirling into the rainbow iridescence. You, said Violet. Okay, if you're going to want me to play while we keep this up, you better go and do what you're going to do fast. I don't know how long I can keep it all going. Okay, she said. Now, all we need is to get the Jackelope outside the valley. That's miles and miles, protested Raindrops. Do we have enough time? Thunderous grinned. Miles and miles across. But those clouds are pretty low for covering your nesses. I say 700 feet to the other edge, tops. Ah, said Raindrops. You guys play, I carry. I get it. She almost managed to keep the bitterness out of her voice. Is what I'm good for. Clara sighed. Raindrops, she said. You're the first of us the Jackalope called. The one who found him in the first place. None of us would be here without you. Yeah, I'm the one who found him, so I could be the one to carry him back. Raindrops shook her head. I get it, okay? You felt my temper when the Jackalope switched us around, and you nearly killed Dusty. That's me all over. The big, angry, dangerous one. I'm just a muscle! Thunderous sword. Like you spent the town whining. Is that why your cutie mark looks like tears? The other stared at her in shock. Well, Raindrops stopped 1 foot out and shook her mane. Thunderaxe! started Lyre. No, wait, Thunderaxe said. I just meant, whatever, said Raindrops. There's no time. She flapped her wings and took off, circling higher. But when I get back... Below her, the musicians resumed their song. This time, they started with the rains of Casimir, then segued into a hard rain's going to fall. And then something else Raindrops didn't recognize. She slowly struggled higher, the desert filing away below her. She saw Dusty, now halfway across the old lake bed, drawing steadily closer to the trio. Not that it would help him, now that Raindrops was carrying the Jackalope away. No matter how high she climbed, she could still hear the music. At the moment, lead operating's rain song, that had to be Thunderaxe's pick, relayed through the Jackalope's horns and final spell. As she rose higher, however, it began to be harder to hear, compared to the sounds of wind, thunder, and lightning. It was very strange. The air in the desert was mostly still, with a bit of thermal updraft from the heat. But as she approached 500 feet, she could see the clouds swirling, lightning splashing against the invisible dome of Corona's spell, and splintering across the jagged purple lines. There must be tremendous winds just beyond the dome. Raindrops lowered her head and dove slightly, then swiftly upward for the last dozen feet. She expected to feel something when she hit the dome. What all she felt was the difference in air, a powerful torrent of wet wind that threw her sideways into a waterlogged storm cloud with a squelch. Raindrops picked herself up and steadied her against the cloud, staring into the wind. Over its howling, she could barely hear the music, but it sounded like a repeat of Rain's song. They're running out of things to play, she realized. Okay, Raindrops, she said to herself. You're a weather pony. Make some weather! Flings flapping furiously, she worked her way up to the side of the rain cloud and pushed it down, toward the dome. Around her, the storm was growing more and more intense, though it had to be a single drop. The music, meanwhile, was, Seriously, Lyra, I thought we were never going to mention that again! Despite her annoyance, Raindrops found herself singing along under her breath as she continued to work. With great effort against the wind, she pushed the rain cloud against the dome, then, with a powerful thrust of wings and forehooves, shoved it through. Or tried to. The cloud split into two as soon as it hit the dome. The two halves skidded away over the top of Raindrops' momentum and carried her through, smacked her into the dome. Into, not through. Standing on nothing, she pushed a hoof against it. Gave very slightly, but the harder she pushed, the harder it pushed back. Now what? Out of the valley too? She reared up and brought her hooves down against it, hard. She tried again and again several times, punctuating her blows with snippets of the song that Lyra was singing. Though I bungle all my bangles, I left my twisted and mangle. The rain helps me to untangle all the things that trouble me. Still nothing. She collapsed against the dome, panting, as the sudden light and heat washed over her. She looked up with a tear in the clouds, though she could see the fiery new sun glaring straight out at her. I'm sorry, she told the Jackalope. We tried our best, but it's all coming apart. The rift was kind of pinkish shaped, she noticed, although that gap could be a horn. You could never have succeeded, a voice said, like one of those pictures that look like a face at first, then becomes two layers facing each other. The rift wasn't a rift with a bright white sunlight pouring through it anymore. It was a shining white pony, eyes blazing white, and her mane wreathed in flame. You! Raindrop said. No, you can't be here! Yes, I am, the other said. Now tell me, little pony, who are you to challenge me? It's not you, Raindrop said. Not the real you. The real you would recognize me as one of the ponies who beat you. Beat me, little pony. I am the sun itself. I cannot be beaten. No, you're not, said Raindrops, striking to stand upright on the dome. You're just a spell, an echo of old magic, like a mirage. You're empty. I can see right through you, she said. Very faintly, she could see the black clouds that burst of purple and yellow lightning through the image of Corona. The translucent alicorn floated majestically down over the Raindrops. Yes, she laughed. I am empty. Emptiness itself. I am fire and waste and desolation. The pitiless sun and the scorched earth. She took a step forward. Despite herself, Raindrops took an instinctive step back. I am desert itself, tiny Pegasus. And what, pray tell, are you that dare to challenge the flame? Raindrops looked up at the alicorn, her mind suddenly whirling near as fast as the wind whipping the storm clouds. We have to play the rain. You're the first of us that Jackelope called. Is your special talent whining? Is that why your kitty mark looks like tears? You're a weather pony. Make some weather. What, pray tell, are you to dare to challenge the flame? The Pegasus smiled slowly up at the shimmering, shifting image of the alicorn. I'm Raindrops! Yeah! She reared back, praising her host once more, and sudden light flared from her cutie mark. Then she brought both hooves down one last time. A great bass rippled loud thunder from her hooves, spreading out across the entire dome, while lightning screamed and licked at it. Then the bass roll and striking bolts were joined by a fountain of delicate arpeggios as, without any further dust, the dome came apart into thousand tiny shards. The echo of an alicorn scream. Raindrops fell. Chapter 9. The End of the Festival. Throughout the festival, heads turned to the sky as music throbbed from the speakers. Attendants and musicians alike watched in open-mouthed wonder as the sky shattered. Shining stars scattering high in the air, wind whipped through the valley, a cool, wet breeze that moistened the dry throats and healed chapped lips, even as it gently cleansed sweaty flanks and manes. The heart of the desert silently groaned as 1,000 years of flame dissolved. Magic rushed into it and then back out. Blue and violet lights flared around Vital Scratch as she played the wind. Flashes and bursts of illumination made her shadow dance and writhe. Oh yeah, she shouted over the rising wind. This is incredible! Lyra laughed, rainbows sparkling and shimmering with every pluck and strum of her lyre. Wow, so the rain finally did come to Arrakis. What? I never get to make Dune jokes! Across the heart, Thunder Axe struck a chord, and lightning flashed and flickered, too fast to tell whether it flowed from her guitar to the clouds or the other way around. She crowed in joy, struck another and another. High above them, spiraling down, Raindrops began to sing. The song had no words. It needed no words. It was older than words and bigger than words, yet small enough to fit in the voice of a single Pegasus mare. It was a song of wind and of sand, and of desert, of loss and fire, and a never-ending noontime of blazingly hot despair. It was a song of rage and pain and terror. But it was a true song. A song of wind, and that meant a song of change. And so as Raindrops sang, it became a song of wind and water, of the fiery sun beating down on distant seas, of tree leaves sitting in the breeze, a tiny wisp of cloud growing up to be a towering black walls, wreathed in lightning and sparking in thunder. The heart glowed again. The world could not take very much more truth. The first raindrops hit the ground just before Raindrops did, right in the center of the trio of musicians. Raindrops kept right on singing. The musicians played and the raindrops sang with her. A song of wind and thirsting earth quenched at last. A gentle rain and drizzling rain, laughing rain, dancing rain, porous and torrential wall of water rain. From the train station to the festival grounds, down the ridges and slopes, to the shores of the old lake, vast towering columns of painted cloud burst open. From the heart of the desert, the cold, dried heart of the once shining lake, to the mountains of the far end of the valley, the rain fell. 1,000 years of rain, like an ocean that had lost its footing and fallen out of the world beyond the sky. The song went on. Waterlogged, barely able to see each other through the plummeting curtains of cool, plain water. Raindrops, final scratch, thunderaxe, and lyre heartstrings could not play or sing. Somebody looked at each other, and laughed, and kicked at their hooves and rolled in mud. But the song went on, too big and true to stop just because no pony was playing it anymore. They splashed and played in the mud like fools. And when a few minutes later, Dusty joined them, all he could do was splash and play and laugh with them. Across the valley and the festival grounds, every pony was doing the same. Cheesecake was dancing with Sound Check, and Awesome Sauce with Carter Code, and Rah Rah was dancing over there with Sapphire Shores. And all of them laughing, splashing, and playing and shouting as the song played on and the rain sheeted down. Down deep in the valley, raindrops splashed in the mud, and then in ankle-deep water, then knee-deep. It was starting to be a little more difficult to splash. Lyra was shouting something over the rain. "What?" Raindrops shouted back. After a brief pause, in which he tried to remember how to make words that weren't rain. "Ground!" Lyra was saying. "We're at the bottom of the valley?" Raindrops didn't understand for a moment. Then there was a crack of thunder and a flash of lightning. Then she realized the old lake bed was rapidly filling. The 5 ponies immediately struck out for the shore, the Pegasi flying while the 2 unicorns and 1 earth pony half ran, half swam. And the rain came down. It fell and fell, 1,000 years of rain filling the lake and trying the dry, stony slopes of the valley to rich red mud. At the festival grounds, finally, one by one, the ponies collapsed to the ground. Exhausted and giggly and happy, smeared with mud and soaked to the bone. Slowly, as slow to end as it had been quick to start, the rain slackened. Jackelope was still in one of the driest parts of Equestria after all, and even 1,000 years of rain could not last more than a few hours. The curtains parted and pulled back, separated slowly into individual sprays, then drops, and at last, drop by drop, the rain drizzled down to nothing. 3 tired and bedraggled ponies pulled themselves ashore onto a large flat rock, washed mostly clean of the red mud by the rain. 2 waterlogged Pegasi sat down waiting for them. All were tired, none minded. Above them, the clouds began to come apart, rents and tatters forming as the last of their magic song dissipated. Shafts of golden sunlight descended through the holes in the cloud, illuminating round patches of a lake with a glowing deep blue. Slowly, the sun drifted down to the general direction of setting. The light spilled across the valley to the mountains on the far side. "What is that?" Raindrops asked, her keen weather pony eyes the first to see it. "What's what?" asked Dusty. "No, I see it," said Vinyl, standing. Lyra came over to beside her. "Whatever it is, it's beautiful." Everywhere the light touched, the dust brown of the mountains seemed to dissolve into a chaos of rainbow colors. A kaleidoscope of reds, blues, yellows, and greens. It spread rapidly outward from the initial colors up to the nearly mountain tops, down to the edges of the lake itself, then sweeping around the valley. "It's come closer," Thunderaxe observed lazily. None of them felt any particular urgency to do anything about it. From either side, the wave of color swept around the shores of the lake, converging on the 5 of them. Then it was on them, and past them, sweeping out the slopes towards festival. "Flowers!" said Lyra delightedly. And so they were. Ancient, countless seeds of flowers and grasses, lying in wait under the desert for 1,000 years, erupting suddenly into shining life. Roots twining through the fast, wet mud, petals and leaves reaching for the sunlight, filtering down through the rapidly parting clouds, rising to meet the widening expanse of the bright afternoon sky. Lyra fought herself back down, and just enjoyed the view for a while. Eventually, Dusty was the first to break the passionate silence. So, whatever happened to the Jackalope anyway? Lyra sat up. I'm not really sure. Last I saw him was when Raindrops carried him into the... You didn't drop him, did you, Raindrops? No, I didn't drop him, Raindrops said. She was trying to sound testy, but too tired, too happy, and in much too good of a mood to really pull it off. Once the spell broke, he just wasn't there anymore. So, he's still out there somewhere? Asked Final. Raindrops considered this a long time. I don't think so, she said finally. I don't think he made it. I don't think he ever really brought us together to save himself. It was the state of Valley. Cheesecake won't like that much, said Dusty. That's Cheesecake's problem. But as it turned out, it wasn't. When he finally clambered back to the festival grounds that evening, Cheesecake was ecstatic. I've sent word to all the papers, she told him giddily. The miracle of the Jackelope. This is going to be a huge tourist spot. We're already getting people tickets for next year's festival. So they joined the gathering of ponies by the bonfire and ate voraciously. So, come on, how's about it? How about a drink on me? Yeah! Dare to believe you can survive! It told her story 1,000 times. And the next day, Lyra played her sets, and the Daughters of Discord played there. It was almost as if it all never happened. They said there were flowers everywhere, and red caked on mud all over everything. And the valley was gentle slopes and rolling hills of bright green grass, and flowing flowers waving gently in the breeze, leaning down to an azure lake. So really, it was only the silly ponies at the festival who acted like it all never happened. At least until the very end of the festival. The last attendees were gone, and only musicians and techs and festival staffs remained around the bonfire, while the huge bright desert stars floated above them. The air smelled of rosemary, and ever so faintly of water. It didn't make Raindrops itch at all. So this is it, said Lyra from next to her, looking up at the stars. Tomorrow we all head back to Ponyville. Yeah, said Final Scratch. Back to real life, I guess. Lyra laughed. It's been pretty unusual, yeah. Is the festival always like this? Not really, no. Didn't think so, said Raindrops. Hey, you never told us, Raindrops said. What happened with your music? You coming back as a performer next year? Final shrugged. Nah, I'm fired. Cheesecake said, even if it turned out for the best, she can't trust a tech who sabotages a performance like that. Guess I gotta see your point. That's awful, said Lyra. Final shrugged again. No biggie. I want people to hear my music, and now I'm 1/4 of the band that played away the 1,000-year-old curse of the Jackelope Valley. You think I'll have any problem at all getting ponies to listen to my new experimental solo project? She laughed. Might have a problem if they heard it before, Lyra mumbled. But Final didn't seem to hear her. The 3 Ponyfield ponies heard the distinctive hum of speaker spells activating. They looked up to see that a circle of ponies had formed around a circle of cables and key amplifiers. And in the middle of that circle, the Daughters of Discord were staring at their instruments. We all, I'll have something for you, Thunderax said into the mic. It's a bit different from our usual sound, and we wrote it during the festival. So we figured we'd save the first public performance for just the people who made it. She looked down at her guitar, instructed one well enough to spread her wings and fly to the air. This is for a friend I didn't get to know for very long. Some other known friends I hope to keep in touch. She played a brief chord, then waited while Also Sauce and Carter started playing. A simple, repetitive 3-note rhythm on a bass made elusive by the delicate tones of the Christophone playing tinkling hits of the Song in the Rain. Strings slowly rose as the volume built, and then the drums kicked in and Thunderax's guitar joined Also Sauce's bass in harmony. While the strings played a soaring, haunting rendition of the Jackalope's theme from the ballad of Jackelope Valley. The instruments fell quiet for a moment, and then there was a simmer of cymbals, and Also Sauce returned to the simple, slow rhythm, while the strings played a new melody, and Thunderax sang softly. Life is in bloom. The rain washed away the desert's doom. Four voices sang as one. The curse has been undone because the strings died away. Then the drummer crashed out a beat on the cymbals, and both guitars slipped in. Also saw sang out much more strongly, while Thunderaxe carried the rhythm. Life is in bloom. Let's sing it out now. Beneath the moon. I said, life's in bloom. The jackalope stopped the valley's doom for us. Thunderaxe echoed Austin's song's last line, for us. Raindrops cheered along with the crowd, swept along with an airity of the song. Yeah, it was a different sound for them. Less gloomy and less angry. Taking the same techniques and using them to be energetic and happy. Maybe it wouldn't work as an everyday thing, but this once, Raindrops thought, yeah, I think it works. Today's a good day for it. Strings swelled, and joining in on the melody as Aldersock retreated the second verse. Life's in bloom! Let's sing it out now! Beneath the moon! I said, life's in bloom! The jackalope stopped the valley's doom for us! The audience cheered while Darwin's and Discord segued into the fanfare they used at the end of every show. That's no Raindrops. Lyra's voice carried above the cheering crowd as he danced up and down, shouting, You rock, Carter! Woo! Raindrops laughed. Note to self, tomorrow I need to make a certain somebody listen to a certain somebody else's entire discography on the way home. The sky was dark and starry and cloudless, as it had been yesterday and the day before. But not the day before that. The moonlight shivered on the placid silver waters of the lake. The young jackrabbit bent to drink. He did not remember as ponies remembered, or know things as ponies knew them. He could not count days or recite his knowledge to himself with an inner voice. His mind was not divided into voices, chattering to one another, or layers of thoughts and feelings. It was once simpler and more unified. Nevertheless, he knew in some sense when he was small. He did not know that it was 2 years ago, or how many seasons had passed. This lake, these earthy grasses and tasty flowers, were not here, and no rabbits entered this valley. But a tasty smell of water and food had drifted over the hills. He was one of the few rabbits adventurous or hungry and thirsty enough to follow. He sat back, his thirst sated. Tiny brown paws rubbed his forehead. It hurt. He was vaguely aware that his head hurt a lot lately, but did not have the capacity to connect it with the rainbow shimmers that someone danced across the water. He froze, ears twisting back and forth, searching for the faint source of musical tone that he just heard. Tiny silver nubs on his forehead shimmered with gentle iridescence. He turned and bounded off into the night. This story, first let me just say, I think this thing was as cursed as the Jackelope Valley itself. I mean, good golly, you guys saw how long it took to do this? I think this story purposely did not want to be read. I think somehow somebody out there was taking everything I had read and started challenging me to finish it. I don't know who it was. I don't know what god I ticked off. Maybe it was Corona or something that kept stopping me from doing this. But I kept having family trips. I kept slipping through the times that I wanted to do it. Cons, etc., etc., etc. It was like this whole entire episode was denying me. And I don't know why. I liked it. It was a pretty dang fun little episode. Most importantly, because it gives Raindrops and Lyra time to interact. And these two don't interact all that much, even when they're in a team. Lyra usually mainly goes to either Trixie or Ditsy, and Raindrops either mainly goes straight towards Trixie. They don't really play off each other. Here we get to see what these two act like when they're together. Or like one lets her emotions play, while the other one plays simpler emotions. It's kind of like two differing emotions working at once here. Also, we get to see more of Raindrops' growth as a character as we watch her deal with more of her rage. Her overwhelming burden of being the big girl. You know, how she changes throughout this. and how this will lead to other episodes where she deals with her own anger issues. Lyra, fantastic as always. It was interesting to see her really pull off some cool stuff. The OCs were fun and interesting, and the rest of the fic was kind of good, despite the fact that it was short. I was kind of impressed with how short everything went. It's amazing how much you can get from even just a small bit, a couple thousand words. Well, that was one episode down. Next time won't be this Sunday, because this Sunday I'm doing another part of, you guessed it, the rest of Digimon Reboot. But next Saturday, take it, girls. Okay, we got everything. We have to have everything. I hope everything has to be perfect. Bon, everything. Lyra, sweetie, you'll be okay. I'm sure my parents are gonna love your parents. But what if we have to hide a secret? What if we had to hire? But Lyra, I met your dads before. He'll be okay. And I think they'll enjoy our families too. Right. You guys will enjoy us, won't you? Next time on the Lunaverse, dinner with the folks. This is sure to be a wonderful meal.